So today I was attempting doing my makeup. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Irene's Perspective. And today I want us to talk about, last time we talked about being happy, regardless of the situation you're in, being happy now, owning your happiness. Today, I want us to talk about relating a story. A story is like what has been said about me, what had been said about me growing up, what has been the idea, the perception, the image of me that has been painted in my mind by significant people in my life growing up. And after answering that question, do I feel that that is what describes who I am? Because most of the times we are not in full agreement of who people have said we are and who they have painted us to be. But we continue to be victims. So because you are told to be, you are a slow learner, in as much as you feel you're capable of more, you want to continue being the victim, the slow learner. Najua sasa mi hata siwezi choose kukua in medical career because I'm a slow learner. I won't get stuff quickly. That is not for me. You limit yourself from things you can do, challenges you can take, because XYZ was said about you growing up. Personally, I've had my own struggle of rewriting my story and figuring out who I want to be from who I am and who I've been told I am and all that. And it's been an exciting journey. I have learned 1, 2, or 3 things about me that I would like to share. Maybe I think I can help someone out there today. So welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Irene's Perspective. If you haven't subscribed, kindly remember to subscribe, hit the like button, share this video so that it can be recommended for other people to view and benefit from the content. And thank you guys for your support and coming back again. If you're a new subscriber or you're new to watch my videos, you're so welcome. Feel free to be part of the family by clicking the subscription button. Yeah, so as I was saying, I learned that you can either agree with the world, whatever they said about you, and in this case you're talking about negative things, what they said about you. You can either agree with them or you can refuse to agree with them and choose to at least now you can see me, and choose to form your own narrative of who you want to be, who you are, who you feel you are. It's perfectly okay for you to form a new perspective of yourself and pass that to others, and let the people who get to know you now know you as that person, not who you were told to be. If you're told your family does not succeed in life, you don't have to buy that story. You actually don't have to buy that story. You can decide, you know what, I am going to be an exception in my family because I feel I'm capable of more. I will write my own story again, and it shall not be told that I am, from a family that's ABCD, because I'll also make an exemption, So, personally, growing up, I struggled with self-image, negative self-image, because the stories that were told about me by my significant others were not so positive stories. I would hear things like, people don't like to be around you. I do not want to name names, and I'm not saying I came from a bad family. I'm just saying my own story of how narratives can affect self-image and who you are. So I was told you're not likable, people don't want to be around you, in very small and quote-unquote harmless ways to those who are saying it. Because maybe somebody would say something like, even your sister so-and-so does not want to stay with you because unakwanga mtu what would I call it? You are restless, you are rowdy, you are all over the place, you're clumsy, you're clumsy, you're all over the place. And to me, that was not something very significant. Like, at that age, it was not supposed to be very significant that I'm clumsy, but it was said as if I'm not expected to be. So I learned that is a flaw of mine. That is a mistake, to be clumsy. It makes people not to be around me. It is a weakness. Because I was always very fast. I would do things very fast. So kwa hiyo harakati ya kufanya vitu very fast, maybe I would create a mess. And the person that I was living with at that time was a person who was so such an OCD. Alikuwa na OCD. You know OCD people, those people who akiweka this bottle in this angle, aipate in this angle, it's a whole issue for them. And so they would, quote unquote, take it out on me. Like they expected me to be that straight, but I am not. So I kept feeling like it's a problem that I have. It's an issue with me. And it affected me a great deal, because at some point I remember I was depressed. I wouldn't want to go to people. I didn't want to have company even of my friends, because I felt like there is something wrong with me and it's a matter of time before they notice, or like I'm making people uncomfortable. I became so self-conscious, so to speak. And at some point, I was so depressed, because now by starting to alienate myself and isolate myself, I reached a point. I am not that person naturally. I am social. I am outgoing. I'm a people person. So now, because I'm so self-conscious, I shun away from going to where people are. So I am staying on my own most of the times, and I'm not liking it, because that is not who I am. You see how stories can prevent you from being who you are, exploring your full potential, character, personality, because it's like, you know, like a small child, when you tell them they are starting to explore. Sasa anataka kujua ni nini ile inawaka pale, na mtoto anaenda hiyo direction. Akienda kuguza moto, you're like, no, don't, stop, you shout at them. They will definitely know that is somewhere I'm not supposed to go. So some stories can make you limit yourself based on the limitations umewekewa. Because if I'm told people don't like being around you because you're clumsy, you create messes everywhere you go, so I will stop going where there are people, because why should I go there and make people uncomfortable? You get my point? So I went to a very dark place, because I am always being who I am not. I'm always doing things that naturally are not what I want to be doing, because of these things that have been said about me. And when I felt so lonely and depressed, at some point I remember I was suicidal. Let's just say for now, I'll limit to a lot was happening. A lot was happening, not just because somebody said I'm clumsy. Let's just say it was a time when a lot was happening in my life. So that and many other factors piled up, and it became to a point where I'm suicidal. I think I'm not loved, and so many factors on the ground supported that fact. So I believed I'm not loved, I'm not valued, I don't have a value. Like, I would stay on my own for a whole week. Nobody has cared to check on me to see how I'm doing. I'm going to be giving my whole life story of my struggle with depression another time, and maybe that time you guys will understand the details. But for now, let's just say, in my struggle at that point, I felt like, what was the point of living if nobody wants to be around me? So even if I died, nobody would notice the difference. And I became really depressed to a point that, you know, I was suicidal. And during one of those struggles, by good luck and by God's good doing, I came across someone who was a psychologist. And they realized I have a lot of potential, but then again, I am so hidden. It's so hard to reach the real me, because my personality would always pop in and out. And when it pops in, I am magnetic. I believe I am a very bubbly, lively person. So when it comes out, it attracts people. So when I hide it back in the shell, the people who saw it would want to see it again, because they are like, but I have seen that other part of you, and that's who I like. So that person told me, encouraged me to share what I was going through. And I started opening up, and I started seeing that there are people who care to listen. That is how much listening to someone can make a difference. I started knowing that there are people who are willing to listen. There are people who are willing to spend their time with me. And I started thinking, I think there is a way in which things are not always the way they seem. Or there is another side of people other than the ones I was told they don't like me, I'm clumsy. But I was also doubting, is it because they don't know me well? Maybe wakinijua the other side of me, they won't like me. So it was a real struggle. But the moment I started opening up about my internal struggles with myself, there was one thing I was told that changed really my whole life and who I saw myself as. And that is what I want to share as the focus of today. That lady told me, you can choose to believe what you've been told, that you're not likable. You can choose to believe that and live life like that for the rest of it. But you can choose if you want to be likable. You can choose that. You can show that, you can build that, you can focus on that, you can develop that, and you can be that. Because at this point, human behavior is very easy to modify and to change. So even if you have been acting and behaving in ways that you've been told you are, you have the power to change that and now start behaving in ways you want to be. So to speak, this story that have been said about who you are can be changed by you acting, feeling, professing, behaving, and trying to develop different habits and characters and beliefs. And that was a life-changing moment for me, because I'm like, so there is something I can do to be a likable person. There is something I can do to stop being a clumsy person who people don't want to be around. But later I would learn I can also embrace who I am, because I have so many positive aspects that people don't notice. I can embrace who I am and bring them out a little more than I do. So I really became obsessed with the idea of developing myself, learning who I am, self-awareness, accepting myself, self-image. I became in love with the process of discovering who I really am, because I also didn't know who I am, because so far it had only been told to me by other people. And I subscribed to that narrative and I bought it and I lived it. And it didn't work well for me. So I've now felt like I have power. And this is what I want us to focus on. In life, you have the power to change the story, especially if it concerns you and it has been told about your life by other people. I invite you to take back the pen. You know, the author has so much power to determine how the story goes. We can be contributors of ideas and opinions and tell them, I think this story would be so great if this and this happened, if the plot twist was like ABCD. But ultimately, the author of the story reserves the right to decide how that story goes. So this is your life. You reserve the right. You have the last word on how the story goes. And if you choose to do nothing with that power, the narrative will always be that which has been told by other people. But you can choose to take that power back and rewrite your own story. First, begin by discovering who you are. Really, learn who I am. What do I really like deep down? Yeah, nimeambiwa napenda attention. But deep down, what do I think I like? What do I not like? What are those things that I really love about myself? What are those things that I would like to improve about myself? Discover who you are really to the core. Wachana na hizo story umeambiwa, wachana na hizo narratives, wachana na hiyo perceptions umeform out of other people, the way they treat you and whatnot. So discover who you are. What makes me happy? What makes me angry? What are my ambitions? What are my aspirations in life? What motivates me? Learn who you are. And the moment you learn who you are, capitalize on that. Now tell your goddamn story. You know, get out there. And if you know you're bold, you're talented, let people know that much. Shout that much. Don't stand up and introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Irene. I was told I am clumsy. If I don't believe I am, I wouldn't go for that. I could go, hi, my name is Irene. I am a very bubbly person. I like smiling. I like ABCD. I am happy about so and so. But I can also be a very clumsy person. It's a positive. There are so many positives about me. And then there is this part of me which I know as a weakness, but I'm working on, so that people don't even have to use your weaknesses to your disadvantage if you are aware of them. Juu mtu akikuja kuambia tuwe na wewe hata you are not likable. How much power do you want to give that person to determine whether or not you are likable? The story is yours. When we are growing up, we might be powerless to what people decide about us and the narratives they tell us about our lives. But the moment you start discovering who you are, I invite you to make a discovery of who you are from your own perspective. Take back the power and write your own story. I started knowing that your clumsiness is because I am very excited about learning new things. I like to be, what do we call it? Swift. I like to do things and get done with them so that I can move on to other things. That's why I might be clumsy because I'm trying to move on to something else. I'm trying to achieve so many things at once, and that is not necessarily a negative thing. Maybe I have so much potential that I just can't settle because I am trying to explore it. And I saw it from a negative angle before, but now I started seeing the positive part of it, and I started embracing it. And I started knowing that people should not have to not like me because of those things. Rather, they should love me for those things, because that is really who I am, and it doesn't have to be a negative factor. So I decided to work on my weaknesses even as I build on my strengths. What are those other things that are positive about me? I am bubbly. You know, I tell such good stories. I am an encourager. I am a motivator. I am, you know, I am so many things. I relate to people. I'm an empathetic person. I relate so much to people. I'm able to, relate with people's situations. Those are positive things. Rely on positive things more than the negative ones to build your new story, so that the new story does not incline towards the negative parts. It is, you are this awesome person with so many potential and so many positive things to you. But just like we have two sides to a coin, there is this other side of you that you are aware of, that you have admitted to, that you want to tell about differently, as opposed to focusing on that negative part of the story that limits you. You can focus on the positive one while still embracing that you need to work on the weaknesses that you have. And that was one of the discoveries that came very handy in my life, because the moment I discovered that, I knew I was capable of so very much. Because if I learned one thing was said about me, and maybe it bothered me that people would think ABCD, I would sit down with it and be like, so she noticed I give up easily. Is that a positive or a negative thing? Is it something I won't continue having? Is it true? Is it true that I give up easily? Is it something negative or positive to me personally? What does it mean to me? Do I want to continue being a person who gives up easily if that's who I am? If I have admitted? No, I don't. So let's get out there and do something about it. I'm going to challenge myself to be more positive. In situations where I would naturally give up, I'm going to challenge myself to hold on a little longer and be more hopeful. That is a positive thing. You know, self-awareness can lead to so much self-acceptance and subsequently self-development. And that is what I'm calling rewriting your own story. It doesn't always have to begin with, because this and this is something people don't like about you. It's necessarily a limiting factor. It is necessarily something bad, like, so to speak. So today I am that person who, as long as I know who I am, as long as I am comfortable with who I am, people will never ever tear me down because they said another thing about me. It doesn't matter how many people will judge me or mistake me. I am comfortable with who I know I am. I am even comfortable with the things I've learned I cannot change about myself that are, so to speak, negative. It is what makes me beautiful. Nobody is perfect. I've fallen in love with knowing that I tell my story from my own angle, not what has been said. I do. I own my own story, so I tell it. So today I want to invite you. Do not wallow in negative self-image, self-pity, and negative narratives about your life. Rather, I invite you to see yourself as a person who is so powerful, because this is your story and you have so much power, if only you would agree to take it upon your hands and exploit to the fullest. Be an author in your own life. Write your own story. Don't let other people have the power to tell your story in their own words, in their own perspectives, to their own advantage. Do not hate yourself for things that have been said to be negative about you. That is what maybe makes you unique. Rather, find positive things that outshines the negative one, so that even as you say that I am ABCD, awesome, patient, I am hardworking and I'm all those, I am also XYZ, and that to me means it's a good thing or it's a negative thing. It's something I would like to improve. And if it is something I would like to improve now because other people pointed it out, I start working on it. rewriting your own story, telling your own story in a way that is significant to you and in a way that you'd like to tell it. So I am inviting you today, my people, to do what? To look into your lives, identify your stories, especially the negative ones. Take a pen and start writing a new story. Start telling new stories. Start embracing your positives as much as you work on your weaknesses. Because that will make a true holistic person. So that is it from me today. This has been Irene's perspective, and my perspective today is that you can be anything you want to be. You have the power to determine what you want to be if only you decide to make use of that power. Until next time, bye guys. Thank you so much for your support. Click on subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, like and share this video so that we can change our narratives together. Bye bye guys.